The recap.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z, Goku raised up Spirited Away in Hell's Moving Castle. I'm actually glad we stopped where we stopped last time, because there was a bit of a time transition between, which was Cowboy Bebop, Akira, Ghost in the Shell. But there was a point where this studio called Studio Ghibli started coming around.
Studio Ghibli? We are talking about the things, why you love what you love. Today, all right. Bring me into the next world, the next phase of this anime journey.
Last episode on Dragon Ball Z. So, last episode we talked a little bit about we talked a lot about anime. We got into the psychiatrics of it.
Dude.
Pretty sure it just felt like therapy for me. I don't know about you, but
I did. I went on this whole psychological journey of just like I saw the future. I was like, oh my goodness, entertainment really predicts the future.
A lot of people say that about anime, because I mean, the animation style has influenced a lot, everything. But we stopped here. This is where we stopped.
Yes, I know.
And
the recap.
So the recap. Last time on Dragon Ball Z, Goku raised up Spirited Away in Hell's Moving Castle. What will happen next time? Okay, so
I'm so thrilled. I'm glad that you can do voices.
So I'm actually glad we stopped where we stopped last time, because there was a bit of a time transition between the other ones I showed you, which was Cowboy Bebop, Akira, and Ghost in the Shell. So there was a lot of time that stretched after that where, it kind of just started trickling into the West and all of that. But there was a point where this studio called Studio Ghibli started coming around.
Studio Ghibli?
Studio Ghibli.
Okay.
It's there somewhere. There.
Yep.
That's ill big, OE deuced, but whatever. Studio Ghibli. So this guy named Hayao Miyazaki came around. And he started pumping out anime that was a little bit different, because we had, like we talked about with Ghost in the Shell, where it was like a psychological, violent, like cyberpunk dystopia. We had that, and we had Cowboy Bebop, which was like people smoking cigarettes and shooting each other and bounty hunters. And then we had Akira, which was like body horror and, ultra violence. So Hayao Miyazaki comes around and starts releasing stuff like, well, I actually have almost every one of his movies except for Princess Mononoke. I don't have Mononoke and I don't have Nausicaa, but as you can see, I've got a lot of them.
So wait, what was the first one, or what? I guess let me rephrase that. What was the first one that you ever watched?
The first one I ever watched was Kiki's Delivery Service, which we'll talk about in just a minute. But I think his first one was actually Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, which is one of the ones I don't have. I think that was actually released before Studio Ghibli even existed.
Oh, damn.
But the reason Miyazaki is special is because this movie right here won Academy Awards. This is an Academy Award winning film right here.
Why?
We're not talking about just animation anymore.
Yes.
So, Spirited Away won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature in 2003. If you watch this movie, within the first 5 minutes, you understand why.
Okay.
Before you know anything about the story, just from the animation alone. Oh, that's something I should mention. All of his stuff is hand-drawn. All of it. Like any of the stuff you see here, all hand-drawn animation. Full length films, all just,
oh my God.
They're works of art. I mean, they're masterpieces. There's a reason that he's considered the Walt Disney of anime.
Were other people doing like the hand drawn, or was that unique? Is that what also made him unique during that time?
I think everybody was doing it, but the way he did it was so different.
Yeah.
Because this was basically Disney, if Disney had an anime touch to it.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, like we talked about in the last episode, what we were seeing from anime was more like the more adult things, the more adult stuff. These are all movies. Now, there are some scenes where you go, oh, that's a little creepy. But these are all movies that anybody can watch at any age.
Oh,
like just
cool.
anybody. And like this one right here, My Neighbor Totoro. It's one of his most popular. It's that big fuzzy guy right there.
Yep.
I had a stuffed animal of him before I ever even watched the movie.
Oh,
because
wow.
he was just everywhere. But he had a special touch to the way he did things that was so gentle compared to stuff like, Akira, which was blasting people's heads off and stuff.
Yes.
The way he did things was so gentle. It was almost, in a lot of ways, more gentle even than Disney, because he would touch on topics like anti-war messages. He didn't focus too much on black and white so much as gray, like morality.
Yeah.
He would talk about like environmental concerns. He would talk about like family issues, and he would talk a lot about spirituality and what we think of self and humanity. Like you and I talk about a lot.
I was like, damn, that's a lot for a kid, not in a good way, a lot for a kid's show. Just like that. Yeah, that's keep going.
Well,
that's wild.
What he was so good at was wrapping it in the bow, like wrapping it in the right paper. He wrapped it in the right paper. It was like with Spirited Away, it starts out. I mean, this whole movie's a fever dream. Like it's crazy. It's about a little girl who gets separated from her parents and gets thrown into a bathhouse where only like spirits live, and they all look like monsters or animals or creatures or whatever. But the way that it starts out is just her with her family, and then her family turn into pigs, and then like it's a fever dream.
Yes.
But it's all talking about the strength and the importance of love and family and all those other things. But as a kid, you're like watching, you're like, oh, that guy looks like a frog. Oh, that person looks like a pig. And there's like monsters and all kinds of stuff. But it's the underlying tone of it that is different from other anime that makes Hayao Miyazaki, I mean, other than just his insane animation style, it's his ability to tell a story and wrapping it in a paper that makes it relatable to any age. Anybody of any age can watch these movies. Like, and they work. You're going to get depending on what age you are, you're going to get something different from it. Let's see. So My Neighbor
I'm so
Totoro.
excited. I can't wait. I'm like, okay, I can't wait to hear like the breakdown of each one. I'm just like, this is so fascinating.
Good, because I've got a lot to talk about.
Good. I'm ready. I'm so fucking ready.
So first off, you'll notice that this has Dakota Fanning and Ellie Fanning in it.
Oh shit. Okay.
Before I carry on with that, I'll show you some more. Howl's Moving Castle. Christian Bale.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know it's backwards, but Emily Mortimer.
Yep.
Billy Crystal. Like, these are not small names, right? Kirsten Dunst, Janine Garofalo, Phil Hartman, Debbie Reynolds.
I would never expected this.
Kate Blanchett.
Oh wow.
But that one's kind of blurry. It's in there somewhere. But you get my point. Like, these are, you don't get actors like that unless you have some sort of gravitas to your work.
Yeah.
So My Neighbor Totoro was the first one I ever actually heard about, but I'd never seen it. I originally saw Kiki's Delivery Service first on that late night anime sci-fi channel I was telling you about at 2:00 in the morning. So there's a fan theory concerning this movie.
Okay.
So in the movie, I'll give you slight spoilers. In the movie, the two little girls have a mom who is very, very sick, and their dad takes care of her. So I'm trying to find a way to wrap this. So the two little girls stay with their mom and dad, or stay with their dad, but their mom's sick, and he, travels back and forth to take care of her every once in a while. But the fan theory of this movie states that Totoro is actually a spirit of the dead. And that this is just a fan theory, but there's a lot to back it up.
I got goosebumps. I was like, okay.
So what Totoro is doing is helping the children come to terms with the fact that their mother is dying. And by the end of the movie, Totoro is actually trying to help them cope with that and come to terms with it. Now, that's just a fan theory, but if you watch the movie, everything they say makes sense. And this is what I was talking about how every age gets something different from it.
Yes.
Because as a kid, what you get from it is, oh, these kids are a little sad. There's a giant monster trying to make them happy. some crazy stuff happens. They float around on flowers. They ride in a giant bus that looks like a cat. Like all this quirky Alice in Wonderland kind of stuff, really.
Yeah.
And so as a kid, that's what you think. Now, when I got older, I got into more of a Totoro's there to distract them from what's going on.
Yeah.
It's some sort of spirit that understands and feels their pain, and it's just trying to distract them from the pain that they're feeling. But the fan theory has a lot of weight behind it, man. And that's just one example. So
do you mind if I ask, how old were you when you first watched that?
I don't know. I'd have to say probably 10.
Oh, wow.
It's probably 10 when I watched this one.
I didn't. So that came, because when you were mentioning those names, I'm like, oh, wait, that must be something more in the last, well,
the movie came out in 88, which is the year I was born, but it wasn't westernized until much later because we didn't have anime until later.
Yeah.
So Ellie Fanning and Dakota Fanning playing in it.
How old were they? Man, how old would they have been then? They were.
Well, they were playing these two little girls.
Oh yeah, so they had yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know when the voice dub was done, but it was much later than 88.
Yeah.
But Kiki's Delivery Service was the first one I saw, and this one's a lot easier to explain to a person. It's really just about this little witch girl who opens a delivery service, and that's pretty much all it is.
You're like, and that's it. But
folks. I mean, that's what I get from it. It could have a much deeper thing.
Yes.
But it's just a fun movie. It feels very much like a Disney movie.
Yeah.
And it hits all the right buttons for that. And it's one of the first experiences with anime I ever had, really. And it's just great. But so Spirited Away was an Academy Award winning film.
Yeah.
Animated film of 2003. Actually, this right here, the back of the box says, winner of the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, Hayao Miyazaki's wondrous fantasy adventure is a dazzling masterpiece from one of the most celebrated filmmakers in the history of animation.
Wow.
So he's not, just a tiny thing.
Yes.
So this one right here is my favorite. This is my favorite Miyazaki movie. And I could probably talk about it for an entire podcast, but I'll try.
Go for it. No, don't. Honestly, don't hold back, because I want the details of it, because that's like, for someone that is like 100% new to this, like me understanding like your journey, even if we have to continue to do episodes and other things, like me understanding your journey with just the one that impacted you the most out of his works and understanding why is like it's something I'm like, that's what I like. I'm like listening. I'm going, okay, I want to know. Like, I know you love like him as a creator, but what is it about that certain one?
So I'm gonna tell you, like, he's an amazing fantasy art, like I don't want to say just artist, but a fantasy writer. Like, you wouldn't think of an anime creator as being a fantasy writer, like Tolkien or something like that, or Brandon Sanderson or whatever. But in my opinion, this is the perfect fairy tale. I'm talking better than Cinderella, better than Snow White, better than Rapunzel or Hansel and Gretel. This is the perfect fairy tale. So it's about it's not a little girl, but it's about this just regular girl. She's very basic, very normal, very average. I think she's a hat maker or a dress maker. It's been a while since I watched it. But she gets pulled into this wizard's house that moves. I mean, it's called Howl's Moving Castle for a reason. His house literally moves around, and ends up falling in. I'm going to succinct it or truncate it. She ends up falling in love with this wizard, and that's Howl. Howl is the wizard.
Yeah,
played by Christian Bale. Believe it or not, like that's that. I never knew that until recently. So that's
just dope to me, because I love Christian Bale.
Yeah. So she ends up falling in love with him. He's he's kind of moody. He's kind of angsty. He looks like a dream, but he's kind of a nightmare.
Sounds like
he's a mess. His house is a mess. He never cleans it up. So she kind of comes into his moving castle and helps clean it and everything else. During this, their entire area is at war. They're in the middle of a war with another nation. So all of this is going on. She gets cursed by a witch. and becomes an old lady. And so the entire movie is real. And this is my favorite part because I'm a romantic at heart and I can't help it. So my favorite part is the entire movie. She's struggling with the fact that she's now an old lady. She's no longer young. She's no longer pretty. And she's in love with this incredibly, like, basically perfect wizard. And at the end, she's still an old lady. And this is major spoilers, but this is the reason it's a perfect fairy tale to me. He just tells her, he's like, I've always loved you, Sophie. Like, she's still an old lady at this point. And he's like, I've just always loved you. And all the old age just like disintegrates and goes away. And she's herself again.
Oh my
kind of
God.
like Beauty and the Beast, where after she admits that she loves him, he's no longer a monster. It's kind of like that.
No, I think it's like that thing of like when someone fully accepts you as who you are, like all of your own anxieties, all your own fears, all your own ideas,
shed your skin.
You shed your skin, because so much of the time, even like when we bring ourselves into any type of relationship, we're bringing all these preconceived ideas of how we view ourselves. What is it saying? Like we'll never be able to truly see ourselves as someone else sees us, because we're always looking through these lens. So once he was able to look at her and go, I love you exactly as you are, that whole narrative that she had just dissipated.
Right. And it's almost like she was the reason it happened. She was the reason she held on to it.
Yes.
And that's actually something I've been struggling with myself, was trying to tell me is like, other people don't see me as I see me. I have to stop thinking that.
Yeah.
But all of that aside, it's amazing. And the animation in this movie is just, I can't express. It's something you can't. It's art. It is at the absolute foundation art. I mean, all of his movies are. This one right here is like a painting all the way through. This is the sweetest movie you'll ever watch, and that's the God honest truth. It's funny talking about this now when I want to talk about fan service anime later, but
yes, I know you're like, and then titties. This changed my life as a child.
So beyond all of that, there's an ugly ass dog who doesn't even look like a dog. There's a man who was turned into a scarecrow who at the end turns human again. It has a lot of similarities to Beauty and the Beast. But amidst all this, there's this character that is one of my favorite anime characters of all time. His name's Calcifer. And all he is Calcifer. And all he is a fireball. He is the heart of Howl's Moving Castle. He is the flame that, powers the whole thing, because it's like steam powered and it moves. He's the one that cooks his breakfast because he's the only flame in the house and everything else. And he's voiced by Billy Crystal. I don't know if you know who Billy Crystal is because you lived in a cult.
I know. I was like, the name sounds familiar.
In the 80s and 90s, he was a massive comedian. He was a huge deal.
Oh, I had no idea. Okay.
Right.
No. So I was thinking Billy Joel.
Yeah, not Billy Joe. Not Piano Man, no.
Yeah, I'm way off. I'm like, there's a Billy out there, and he's famous.
No.
I know there's a couple of them.
Billy Crystal was a comedian in the 80s and 90s. And he was, when I was a kid, I just thought he was the funniest thing ever. Because he had this voice and he talked like, what's his name? The guy with the one eye from Monsters, Inc.
Oh, yes.
That's Billy Crystal.
Oh, shit.
What's his name? Okay. What's his name? Wachowski?
Something.
You know what I'm talking about. The green dude with the one eye. That's Billy Crystal.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Billy Crystal plays Calcifer. So Calcifer's a fire demon, and you got to understand, in Japan, demons are different than the way we view them in the West. Demons can be good or bad in Japan.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So in Japanese culture, in a lot of Asian cultures, demons are just spirits, the way we would view spirits. So they can be good or bad.
Okay. So have so many questions there, so we'll come back to that. That's fascinating.
We'll have a culture episode. But
okay, good. Okay, then keep going.
But Calcifer is just a fire demon, or that's what we think he is throughout the entire movie. But as the movie goes on, Calcifer's fire starts to go out. And Hal can't find Sophie, and he's fighting to find her. He's fighting to get her back. And we find out that Calcifer is actually a fallen star and Hal's heart.
Oh.
So as his flame is going out, it's because of his distance. It's because of Hal's distance from Sophie and because of his disconnect with her. Because he had finally found that flame and found the strength and all that. So Calcifer starts to calcify and become like a stone.
Yeah.
And as a viewer, you don't really realize what's going on until later, because it actually explains way later in the movie that Calcifer is Hal's heart. And that's what keeps the castle moving. That's what keeps Hal moving. That's what keeps him going as a person. And the further he gets away from Sophie, the less he starts to, the less the spirit starts to, or the less the spirit burns, and the less.
It's so romantic.
Yeah, I mean, it's the perfect fairy tale, and I might be getting a little bit of that wrong because it's been a long time since I watched it, even though I have it. Yeah, but that's how I remember it. And
that's all that matters. How you remember it. That's
right.
fact.
Perception is reality. That is exactly when it comes to entertainment. Yes,
it is. Perception is reality.
But that's how I remember it, and it's like that does something to you creatively, at least to me, where it's like that's the perfect love story. Yeah, it's like, because it doesn't ever actually tell you until the very end why he's feeling this way, or why Calcifer's dying. Why is his flame no longer burning? Because Calcifer, the entire movie, is like, I'm the greatest fire spirit of all time. I'm the most powerful. I can burn this whole place down. Because he's a jerk.
Yes.
And he plays it off really well, because Billy Crystal's just fantastic at it. And when he starts to burn out, he becomes really weak. He's like, oh, Hal, I don't know how much longer I'm going to make it. And he's like, Hal's trying, well, it's not Hal that's doing it. It's the little boy that's doing it, trying to keep him alive and trying to, feed his flame. And Sophie's trying to keep him alive. Everybody's trying to keep him alive. And they don't understand why the flame is going out. And then at the very end, you find out it's like, it's Hal's heart. It's broken. He's lost something. He's not himself. And it's like, it's that spirit of longing.
Yes.
Like that puts your fire out. And it's like, I don't know about you, but I relate to that.
Oh yeah, my brain was literally, I'm like, oh my goodness, like all the different levels in my own life. It's just like, oh wow, look at all the different scenarios where you don't know where the disconnect is. You don't know, like, that, trying to find the through line of like, why am I the way I am? Why do I feel what is missing? And then it's just like the thing. What is it? It's like the thing that's sometimes right in front of your face. Yeah. It's right there. Like the most simple answer is typically the answer.
Right. And you almost always never accept the simple answer because you think it's more complex than that.
Yes, because we as humans, we think we're more entertaining. We think we're more complex than what we are.
Right.
Like I always, like, every time I get in my own head, I create this massive narrative of all the things that it could be. And it's like, oh, it's the most simplest answer most of the time. I'm like, we're not that complex.
And that's exactly why most of the time we are the problem and we don't see it.
Yeah.
Because we're the closest thing to ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's like our flame can completely go out because of something we've done or something we think of ourselves.
Yeah.
And dude, I've had that flame go out so many times, and I'm just shoveling coal on it, trying to keep it burning. And it's just like, sometimes you don't realize that you don't need coal. You just need to go outside. It's like,
you just need a little wind. Just get a little.
Sometimes, I mean, really.
Yeah, get some oxygen, go outside, get some sun on your face. Let's do some basic human stuff. But I love that all this is packed into this. Like, you said, like the Disney, the whole, I understand, like, when I watch, when you watch like Beauty and the Beast, but then you see there's layers of it. It's all comes back to his heart. Like Beauty and the Beast gave you different examples, but this feels so much more layered, all centered around one thing. It's like you think they're different storylines, but they're all connected to one thing, which is his heart.
And the thing is that as a kid, you can still watch this and go, haha, that guy is a scarecrow bouncing around and he can't talk. Or that dog is really funny looking. Or that witch is really, really ugly. She's really ugly. Yes. She's really bad. Or Hal is really cool. And like, at one point, like, there's a lot of points where he uses his magic, and like with Hayao Miyazaki's art style, it's just the most. It's like watching a painting move. I mean,
I can't wait to watch it.
It's dude, Howl's Moving Castle is crazy. It's so good. But the last one I want to talk about, like I said, I don't have all of them because I don't have. Oh, I do need to talk about Princess Mononoke really quick.
Yeah, please.
So Princess Mononoke is not. It's supposed to be kid friendly, but it's not really. It's got some really creepy visuals. It's got some violence in it. This one was a lot more adult. At least when I watched it, that's what it felt like. It felt.
And how old were you when you watched it? Where it felt like adult?
Well, I mean, like I'm talking from context. Like I was probably like 14 when I first saw it, but I could tell the difference between like that and Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yes. No,
Because there's
but that's what we talked about the other day. Like the things that we go, oh, kids shouldn't watch that. They're not aware.
Right.
But it's like, no, like
we are aware. We get it.
Yeah, we're aware. And you felt a shift in the type of content that you're like, oh, there's a shift here. But yet, even though you're like 14, now when I look back at 14-year-olds, I'm like, when I was 14, I felt like an adult. But like, yes, if we looked at a 14-year-old now in our, late 30s, we'd be going, oh, you're just a kid. But it's like, no, I didn't feel like a fucking kid. But
no, I never did. No. And people grow up different too. Like I tell my son all the time, it's like you're older than you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because of all the stuff you went through. We all grow up at different rates. You can't say one 14-year-old's the same as another 14. It just doesn't work. Nothing's that simple. But with Princess Mononoke, there was a drastic difference between. It was almost like Miyazaki's really good at letting you know how he felt, like when he made something. Like I'm pretty sure he was on drugs when he did this one. This has the most beautiful art you'll ever see in a movie, but but it's so trippy all the way through that there had to be some drugs involved. This one, I feel like maybe he was dealing with grief somewhere. Yep. Like there had to be some sort of grief he was dealing with. This one, I think he was in a pretty good mood.
Yep. Simplistic.
Yes. Mononoke, he was pissed. So the entire, and I don't know that for sure. I'm just saying that's what I got.
No, that's the energy that came across. It resonated with your pissed energy as well, I'm guessing.
So the thing about Mononoke is it was a very environmental story about protecting the environment and stuff. And it's about this girl who's raised by wolves, and she's trying to stop these two sides from fighting because they're destroying nature all around her. And she was raised by these two wolves. And so she's trying to get these two sides to stop fighting because there are forest spirits living in the woods where they're like in the air in between where the two groups are fighting. So she's trying to protect the forest spirits because if the forest spirit dies, the forest dies with it, and then they all die.
Oh wow!
So that's what the whole story's about. But there's like people getting shot with arrows, people getting stabbed. It's a lot more. It's violent, but it is an understandable, necessary violence for the story. It is necessary for the story, which I think is something people forget that there are parts of a story that are necessary sometimes.
Yeah.
If you want to elicit passion between two people, sex may be necessary for that.
Yes.
If you want to elicit anger, cursing, we curse for a reason.
Yes.
We yeah, exactly. So it's like
someone who curses a lot. Yes, it is not just to say random shit.
Right. So you just said shit.
Yes.
So,
oh yeah, exactly. I'm like, this isn't like.
So
it brings great peace to my life to be able to be like,
exactly, exactly. Knowing that no words are outside of your power. So the thing about Mononoke is that the violence is necessary for the story, especially knowing Miyazaki as an artist, because the fact that it's there, you're like, okay, he's trying to tell me something. Because this isn't in Kiki's Delivery Service. This isn't in Ponyo. This isn't in Howl's Moving Castle. Tiny little bits, but not a lot. But the fact that it's here, the fact that I'm seeing blood, Miyazaki's trying to tell me something.
Wow.
And Mononoke is widely considered one of his most important movies because of the way that it elicits those reactions and how it tells its story. Because it's so different from all the other ones. It would be like if you were watching a Donald Duck cartoon and then all of a sudden somebody pulls out a shotgun. You immediately go, okay, something's changed. What are they trying to tell me? What is the story here? Why is this different?
So his own work was evolving and being a reflection of what was going on probably in his own life, like his own journey.
It seems like
he was taking on
It felt like he was taking on the weight of whatever he was believing at the moment, which is what an artist.
It's either the weight of what you're carrying or the weight that you're carrying for someone else, and you're telling their story. It's a sense of control, of releasing. Right. I'm releasing something for me, or I'm trying to solve a problem for someone in my life, and so I need to release something to dig, kind of like we were talking about last night. Like I'm trying to dig into information to understand things about my family more because I just not even for myself, but for my family. I want to understand what's going on. Yeah.
Right. And as a viewer watching that and watching Miyazaki's other movies, it's like it's like there's obviously something he's telling us here because of how different the content is.
Yeah.
Because you watch Ponyo and it's about a little girl who she's a fish, and a little boy catches her and brings her home, and she turns into a little girl. It's such a pretty movie. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. Ponyo is so cute. But it's like watching that and then watching Princess Mononoke. There's an obvious temperature difference. Yes. And it's intense. And I think it was intentional because Miyazaki just had something to say. And it might have been, stop fighting, or it might have been protect the environment. Who knows which one it was, but he definitely wanted you to pay attention to it. And that shows his strength as an artist and as a storyteller, being able to go from Ponyo to stop fighting and destroying stuff and stop killing each other. It's like, that's what a good artist can do.
But that's what I appreciate about you. I'm literally hearing you talk about this, and I was like making a list of like why I love Cody. Commercial break. Why we love Cody.
My list of why I love Cody.
Yes, here. Here it is, guys. But
I'm like, a really long scroll.
I'm like, listen. But it's
hereby I do decree.
Please break into song and give me a song right now. I'm just kidding.
No songs. No songs.
No songs.
My water's almost empty. If I sing, I'm gonna have to go get more. Go.
Okay, fine. But I'm like what I love. I'm like, and this is like everything we've been talking about in the podcast, that we're not just one. You can't define someone by one thing. You can't you can't put a label on someone for liking one show or liking one game and going, oh, this is them as a whole. And when I hear you talk about this aspect and this childness and just like the beauty of it and the artisticness of it, and then you and I can have conversations where we're diving into horror and darkness and aggression in a sense. I'm like, I love from wrestling to romance. I'm like, to me, I'm like, this is the human experience. And one, I just love it because it's just like, one, you're my friend and I absolutely love you. But I love like having these conversations, even just like as a male female, like be able to talk to another guy and go, oh, I love seeing all the layers of you. Because even like in society where there's like these still gender norms, like, oh, this is what a guy only likes these things, or a girl's only interested in these things. I love this because this podcast is not just breaking the stereotypes or putting labels on people. It's like, no, we're getting to the human. Like you're a human, which means you're multifaceted and layered.
I am? What?
Yes. You are not a label. I'm not labeling you male or female. I'm labeling you my amazing human. And so I get to know these aspects, and I'm like, oh, I just love seeing and be able to dive not only into what you love, but to me, it's a reflection of humanity. Like this is, the podcast is yes, we're wrapping it around entertainment and the things we escape into and the things that we love and what made us, in a sense, what made us us, or what things met us right in the moment in our life that we needed it in the form of entertainment. But this as a whole is just, we're all multi-layered, not complex. As we learn, we're very simple. Yep. But just because we're simple doesn't mean we're surface, and doesn't mean you can define us by one label or one word.
Right. Because, and that's why we're going to talk about titties now.
Fuck yes. Bring on the titties, bitches. And that's what I mean. This is why I'm also so happy that, you brought in like, okay, the smackdown.
Oh yeah, I'm prepared, bro.
I love it. You're like, and I'm ready. I feel like we need an outfit change. I'm just kidding.
Going back to what you were saying, it's like, I understand the romantic parts of Howl's Moving Castle because as a writer, every facet of a human being is important. If I can't conquer, as a writer, if I can't conquer every facet of a human being, I can only write one character.
Yeah.
And it's just like with a painting. If I can't capture every facet of a thing, I cannot paint that thing except from one perspective. And if you paint landscapes and every tree is exactly the same, they're all the same landscape. You have to have these different facets, which is why I'm not afraid to talk about titties and romance.
I love it. Yes.
And zombies, by the way.
And zombies. So, listen, they're all connected because they're human. That's all you need is our human connection.
Exactly.
We don't need any explanation why you should or what. No.
Right, exactly.
Just give it to me.
Exactly. Exactly. You like what you like, and you should like it, and nobody should be able to tell you what you do not like.
Exactly.
But the reason I want to talk about this isn't because of titties. The titties are just involved. So
they're just the catalyst of the conversation. They're the hook to the show. That's it.
Right.
And the art that gets you to open and buy the content.
Yes. It is. It seriously is. It's called fan service for a reason. This is fan service anime.
Okay, I have no idea what that means, but I'm assuming you're going to tell me.
This is my favorite anime. Like more than Dragon Ball, more than Bleach, more than Miyazaki movies. This is my favorite anime.
I feel like everyone you held up, you're like, this is my favorite. I'm just kidding.
You mind your own business. This is my favorite anime. And there's a number of reasons for it, okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
So the reason I wanted to do these and Miyazaki in the same episode is because I think the duality is important. This is bloody, it's over-sexualized, it's bloody and it's over-sexualized. But it's also funny. It's got some awesome action set pieces, and it's got some of the best animation I've ever seen in an anime. So like we're talking about different things here.
I don't know why.
You're just gonna laugh this whole time, aren't you?
Because the other were like, this is the greatest of all time. Listen,
but this is my favorite.
This is your favorite. Okay. It is hands down your favorite. If you could only have one in your hand for the rest of your life.
I don't know. See, that changes things.
Okay,
here's the reason.
I'm not going to mess up your flow.
No, here's the reason it changes things is because this only got one season.
Oh, so you don't...
Dragon Ball got like 208 seasons. So like,
that's true. You're like, if I'm going to love something for one, I need to have lots of it.
Right. I want some more. If I'm going to be struck on an island, I want more.
But maybe you love this so much because it is so limited. So thus it's like, fuck, I only have a little bit.
Maybe. But...
Okay, go ahead. All right.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
So on this, one thing that me and Bobby are always talking about, there's that name drop again.
Yeah, Bobby Calloway.
I
hope he's okay
with on Amazon now.
Yeah, Shallow Ocean on Amazon.
Go buy Shallow Ocean on Amazon right now.
He's gonna be like, why the fuck did my book just like sell thousands of?
I hope so, dude. Go buy like thousands of copies of that.
Go buy. This is not a plug. Except love.
We're not paid to do this.
We are not paid to do this. We just love Bobby.
Yes.
I hope it's a great book.
So, one of the things me and Bobby talk about a lot is that people judge things surface level. That's as far as they go.
Yeah.
Like Beauty and the Beast is an example he and I bring up a lot because people just chalk it up to like Stockholm syndrome. She was trapped, so she learned to love her walls or whatever. It's not that. Beauty and the Beast isn't that at all. Not even close. She loved him because he gave her everything nobody else would give her. You know, that's why most people would love somebody. So a lot of people would think I love this just because zombies and titties.
Yes.
I mean, the surface level, that's what this show is.
Yeah.
The reason I love this is because zombies and titties and and
listen, people, do not shut off this until he gets past his and. This is not. Do not break this. Do not make these the clips that you post all over the internet without.
Or you could.
Or you could.
Right.
As long as you give a link right back to us. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a huge zombie fan. I love zombie everything. Okay. George Romero's Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, Land of the Dead, all of the deads. All of Us Are Dead, Train to Busan. Anything with zombies in it, I just love it. Okay. So when you give me an anime that's about zombies, I'm going to watch it.
Okay.
So I watched it. Then I realized I was watching one of the most beautifully animated shows I've ever seen in my life. The way it's drawn, the way it's lit, the way it's colored, everything, the way it's animated, everything's just beautiful. The characters are all very distinct. They all have very distinct personalities. This chick right here, Saeko Busujima.
I love her hair.
Yeah, she's the baddest ass.
Oh,
man.
dude, that's like, dope. I love that outfit.
Yeah, she's top of my list on favorite anime characters, right up there with Vegeta. Like she's that high. She's that cool. She walks around like she's this real badass. She's hitting zombies with a wooden sword and like, you know, she's the one that kicks zombies away when everybody else is cowering. She's the badass.
Yeah.
But all of these characters have something about them that makes them distinctly different from the other characters. Now, anime has character tropes where it's like the quiet girl who's actually really sweet, or the angry, like arrogant girl who's actually a wimp, and has trouble with social anxiety. Anime has all these character tropes, but what this show does so well is it puts them in a period of trauma where they're surrounded on because a zombie apocalypse breaks out while they're at school. So they're escaping school in the middle of this.
Yes.
So Saeko Busujima is head of the Kendo club. So she's whacking zombies with sticks. She's not scared at all. She has no fear. And then you've got Ray, who's kind of like the average girl. Like she can fight back, but she's also scared. And then you've got her. I hate her so much I can't even remember her name, even though I've watched this like 200 times. But she's this very arrogant rich girl. She's very mean and rude to everybody around her. She gets.
Go ahead. Sorry that you just absolutely gave her. She doesn't even get.
Yeah, no, she's getting shafted.
Hold on, I'm about to cough. Hold on.
No, we're gonna wait. But like, okay, so I think her name's Takagi. Is it Takagi? I think so. I still don't like her, but she's this very arrogant, very rich, like hateful. She's mean to everybody. All this stuff. But the second she gets cornered, she starts screaming like a little girl. And then you've got the male characters, and you've got this nerdy guy who like is obsessed with guns. So the second the zombie apocalypse happens, he gets like a nail gun from the home ec class and starts like taping it up with a sight and a pencil and like shooting zombies. And then you've got this other guy, of course, he's like the main love interest. He's like the main character. And he's kind of just, your regular dude. But all of these characters fit into these archetypes right in the middle of an apocalypse. So you're seeing them all thrown into moments of trauma, along with, the animation stuff. Can you die later? I'm trying to talk.
There's literally like something. There's something in my throat.
Are we going to make it through this episode? I'm not sure.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm here. Go. I'm dying, but I'm here.
So on surface level, people will tell you why you like this. People really like to do that these days. They like to tell you why you like or why you dislike something. You can go ahead and cough. I'm just messing with you. So people like to tell you why you dislike or why you like something nowadays. They don't just let you have an opinion. I like everything about this.
Good. Besides the fact that you don't know the name of the girl that you hate. I think that's what got me. I think that's what made me laugh so hard. It's like, I love everything about this except this one bitch who she doesn't even get the right to remember her name because I literally hate her, but I've watched
I really do hate her though, dude. Like she's so.
Listen, she hasn't earned the right to have her name remembered.
But I will say this, and this is one of the things that the anime does well, where it's not just boobs and zombies.
Yeah.
Every one of these characters experiences an insane amount of character growth.
Oh, I love that.
Like Saeko, who is the badass girl who's smacking zombies with a stick and acts like she's not scared, eventually breaks down. And she tells the main character at one point, this is my favorite moment in the entire show. She has this moment with the main character where she's just like, they're alone. And she just straight up tells him, she's like, I like it. And he's like, well, I mean, you're killing zombies. She's like, no, I like it. Even if they weren't zombies, like maybe she'd still be okay with it. Like she realized that they used to be human. They might still be in some way.
Yeah.
But there's something about it that she likes. And she's afraid to let people know that, but she's come to like this main character so much that she tells him that. And he was like, he basically tells her, he's like, do it. Be yourself.
Shit.
So every time she comes up against zombies for the rest of the episode, she gets a real sword at that point too, because they find one in a Japanese shrine. So she's no longer just smacking people with a wooden stick.
And this is the girl with the purple hair. This is that.
The badass.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I love it. Okay.
Yeah, she's a badass. She's so cool. She's right up there, right with Vegeta. She's right there. We're gonna have to have a whole Dragon Ball episode, dude. We have to. Anyway. So after he says that, he hands her the sword and he's like, just be you. And dude, you can see this like evil shimmer in her eye where she's like, she draws the sword. And now every time she comes up against a zombie, she's just like cutting them in half, shutting their head.
Yeah.
But the reason she has this moment is because there's a point where she comes into contact with like a kid zombie. I'm pretty sure it's a kid zombie. And she's about to smack it. And when she realizes it's a kid, she just stops. She freezes. because she can't go through with it. And that's what makes her come to the realization that she likes what she's doing, because she couldn't bring herself to do it to the kid, but she can bring herself to do it to everybody else.
Yeah.
So after that moment, she has that moment with the main character, and she's like, I like it. I enjoy it. And he hands her that real sword. And after that, every time she comes across a zombie, it's just bloodshed. And she's just being herself. But her being who she is has saved their lives countless times throughout the show. It's just, there's a lot there under the surface that people aren't going to see. Just like the pink-haired girl that I hate. Yeah. They get to this point where they go to her parents' mansion, because her parents have a huge mansion, and they're still alive. Everybody's still alive. And that is where her character just completely shifts, and she becomes a completely different character. Pretty sure her name's Takagi. I'm almost guarantee her name's Takagi, but they call her by her last name, which is why I'm right. It's Takagi. I was right. Even though I hate her, I remembered her name. Look at that.
You're like, she does have a place in the story. She
does. And after her character shift, she's completely different. She's still a bitch, but you're like, I get it. She was raised pompous, and she was raised by rich people, and they're all really like that. And her dad's really rough and former military. There's reasons. There's always a why. We say that a lot.
Yes, there's always a why.
So
and her character definitely will connect with someone and their why.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
Especially after she breaks down and she reveals, who she actually is, and not the mask that she puts on for people. So that's why I like this stuff. And a lot of people is like, oh, you just like it because there's girls with big boobs, or because there's a bunch of blood. I like it because of that.
Yeah.
But I also like it because every time I watch it, I love that moment with Saeko getting that sword and being able to be herself.
Yeah.
And being able to turn that aggression into something that saves lives.
Yeah.
And Takagi realizing that she's a bitch and she treats people bad, and she eventually apologizes to the nerdy guy who has a crush on her, and they survive together.
But it's the human, you're on the journey with it. I'm like, it's all back to this human evolution. Like, people don't allow us as humans to be on a journey, and like you are connecting to the journey that it's taking you on. Yes, you have the hook of zombies and titties. Okay, cool. Like, we're all human. Like, okay, like like I'm gonna be like, I have those things that are like, oh, that's what got me to start it. But then it's like, but yeah, the human aspect of it is like, you get the whole journey of these characters, and you get to be a part of their development. Like, they're not 100%. Just, once again, they're not just one thing. Right.
Another example would be this show right here. This one might be a little lesser known. This is called Monster Musume.
Okay.
And it's completely ridiculous and 100% adult. This is not family friendly. Neither is this one, but for different reasons. This one's bloody.
For those in the comments, if there's kids
don't let your children watch this.
Yes.
But the reason I want to talk about this one specifically is because it's hilarious. It is so freaking funny. This guy lives in a world where monsters have started coming in through regular, like real world. So there's in the real world, there's monsters, and they all look like these.
Oh my goodness. That's a wonderful world.
Right. Yeah. Right. So he gets tasked with basically housing one of these monster girls. And it's just hilarious.
Poor thing.
Right. I know. And just suffering every day. It must be the worst. But of course she falls in love with him. Of course.
Yes.
Then the same organization that helps people house these monster girls to help keep them safe or whatever, to help them acclimate to the human world, sends him another monster because they've got his name written down twice or something. So he gets stuck with another monster girl. And this happens like 8 times in a row. So,
oh my God, this is just a fantasy.
Well, it is. Yeah, no, it's seriously. I
no, in a good way. I'm not saying a bad thing. I'm like, yes, thank God the gods put my name on a list.
Okay, he's just in his bedroom going,
just please let me be drawn again. Okay, I do have a question though. Like, these monster girls, are they actually evil? Like, why are they being protected? Why are they being set? Okay. Like, why are they needing to be hidden or whatever? Like, how are they? What's the point of them?
That chick's evil. She's mean.
It's a purple hair again. It must be a.
Oh, it is. All that stuff's connected.
Yeah.
But it's mostly just like they kind of just fell into our world, or they got revealed, like came into being. Like, we realized they were real, and it was just like trying to help them acclimate to real life, like give them some place to be and something to do instead of just being homeless and all over the place. And he just ends up getting paired with a bunch of them. And there's not much of a story. It's pretty much just that, but it's so funny. Like, there's so many scenes where the monster girls don't understand the limits of a human body.
Yes.
So they're just constantly like nearly killing him. And he's sitting there, he's like, I'm dying, cannot breathe. And it's just, that stuff's so funny. And once again, and the reason I wanted to talk about these specifically is because of the surface level aspect that people judge things by. That's the main reason I'm talking about these. If you saw this in a store, you would think, oh, it's just for guys who like big boobs or monsters or girls or whatever. And you're probably right. You're probably right 50% of the time. But if you watch it, you're going to laugh your ass off. Like, I laughed so hard during that. I had Liu watch it. I had my wife watch it. She laughed through it too. It's just so funny. It's charming. Yeah. Like I said, it's not family friendly. Yeah. But if you are an adult and you have the power of deduction, it's like, which a lot of people don't have anymore.
That's true.
It's like you deduce that this is just a funny anime with some boobies in it. Like, and why does it have to be anything more than that? It's so funny. Yeah. This one is similar. This one I won't talk about these very long because I'm just kind of rehashing the same thing, but there's a reason. Yep. Prison School. Yep. I don't know if I've ever laughed harder during an anime. It's about a bunch of boys who get thrown into prison at school because they got caught looking into a girl's locker room. Yep. And this guy right here, it's hard to see. Hold on, trying to find it. The bigger guy right there with the haircut and the tiny face. Yes. every time he's on screen, I laugh just because of his face, and I can't help it. But you don't look at this and think this is going to be funny, but it's so funny. Oh my god!
But these are the thing is like I love shows. I love shows.
I love shows
that bring us joy. Shows that bring us joy. Like, it doesn't always have to be some in-depth thing. Like, I think that's where when we're kids, we're allowed just to laugh at stupid shit, and there doesn't have to be any layers to it. And like,
and as adults too.
And we need it as adults because life is so fucking heavy sometimes. It's like, just let me shut off my brain and don't demean me for wanting to shut off my brain.
Right, exactly.
Like, people, shut off your brain. Like this. Okay, if this podcast is anything, it's like you're definitely. You may want to shut off your brain just listening to us, but please.
You might want to mute us.
Might want to mute us, but
still watch though.
But still watch. Listen, just still.
We're so good at this, man. Okay, so I have one more.
So many. Okay.
What do you got in that coffee, by the way?
I know. I think David's gonna fire me from like from
we get 100 million views. He's not gonna fire you.
Listen,
100 million views. That's what we got.
Oh my god, people, get us there so we can like have so many fun fans on here. Listen.
Oh, dude, that's the plan.
The more views you get us, the more you share this, the more fans we get to have on. The more we get to like bring in more people on this chat and talk life and shit and fun stuff together. So
that's the ultimate goal.
Don't let it just be Cody and I, even though listen, we apparently would be just happy as a clam to have it that way. But
yeah, that's the ultimate goal, people. Like, we want to bring other people on here. We want to make this. We want to make you guys the focus. Yes. This is just us talking to show you what we want to talk about. Like, getting back into the whys and the happiness of the things that we like. This isn't about judging anybody for anything, which is why I'm talking about booby anime. It's like, we're not judging anybody for anything. We want you to come on and talk about.
We're promoting fun.
Yes. Hell yeah. That's it. I'm done.
Promoters of fucking fun.
So this one is different.
Okay.
So this is a booby anime that exists for a difference.
Is that ass cheeks?
Yes, that's ass cheeks. Here. Is that better?
Yes. We're gonna have like
have to censor it. Miguel, censor this? No.
Okay, maybe we should not do a podcast with like 3 hours of sleep.
It's just butt cheeks.
Just butt dicks.
Okay, so this is actually based on an American comic book.
Oh, wonderful.
It's called Witchblade, and it was based on an American comic book by Top Cow Comics, which I don't think is any longer around. I think they got absorbed by Dark Horse or Image. I'm not sure. But this one has an intense message to tell and is an incredible story. So this one takes place after the destruction of Tokyo. Like, Tokyo just got kaboomed. And
in the story, or is this okay?
In the story.
Okay.
In the story.
Okay.
Tokyo never got kaboomed, so
Well,
it's.
I'm just listen. I'm making sure I didn't miss something.
Right. Got it.
My education.
Right. So the entire story, she has this thing attached to her wrist that will not come off. It will not break. It won't shatter. She can't get it off for anything. And it's called the Witchblade. And whenever there's like, they have these like weird demon machines around that every time there's one around, it will turn her into this warrior thing. But she's just a regular woman. As a matter of fact, she's a mom. So she's homeless. And the entire part of the entire first part, it's just her and her daughter. She's homeless. You know, she's bouncing back and forth between hotels and places to stay. And she ends up getting her daughter taken away because she's homeless. And pretty much the entire story is like, it's bouncy and it's, you know, boing boing and all that.
Boing boing.
But the entire story is about a mom trying to find her daughter, get her back, make a life good for her. And while also fighting these demon machines that are literally rampaging through the world. So it's this thing where it's like there's this duality of, this is for one group, but how about you watch it and give it a shot? Because there's something of substance here about a mom fighting to find and keep her daughter and protect her and keep her safe while also trying to save the world. And she's kind of forced into saving the world because she can't get that witch blade off. And it kind of controls her to a point where she has to fight these monsters. So it's like
all the moms out there that don't feel they can be sexy and heroic and all these.
Yes. Yeah, for sure though.
Moms, you can be anything you want. We're promoting you to be you.
Everybody in media is trying to tell you that you can only be one thing. Yep. Don't listen to them.
Don't listen to them. Just be you. Be you, be kind. That's all we always say. Just be you, be kind, cause no harm.
Yep. And it's a perfect example of don't judge things by surface level because there's so much depth into that story. And it's incredible what people will judge on the surface.
Yeah.
Because if I had started with these, and then went to the Miyazaki and I'd done them in that order, you would have had a completely different response.
Oh yeah. People probably wouldn't have listened. Honestly, who knows? Yeah. If we would have started with that first.
Yeah. We don't know.
No.
But my purpose of doing both of these both of these different types is because I wanted to show the duality and the power of not only anime, but of humanity and what we actually are and who we actually are. We all have bad thoughts. We all have negative moments. We all have strong moments. We all have heroic moments. We all have moments where we want to hide behind the couch, especially if somebody knocks on the door, rings the doorbell. We all want to jump behind the couch.
Yes.
We hate that shit.
Oh my God. I know.
But we all have a duality. None of us are just always good or always bad or always happy or always sad. There is a strength to us and a weakness to us. And there is a I want to watch Hellraiser to us, and there's an I want to watch Ponyo to us. Like sometimes I want to watch Child's Play. I want to watch Chucky stab people. Yeah. Other times I want to sit down and I want to watch Pokemon.
Yep.
That's another episode for the future because I would love to talk about Pokemon. Oh my God. But that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you liking Deadpool because you liked Hugh Jackman's abs. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with you liking a Sydney Sweeney movie because it's Sydney Sweeney. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's what this whole podcast is about. It's about saying, like what you like, hate what you hate, and just be passionate about it.
Well, it's kind of funny because it's like I even find myself when someone goes, "Oh, what kind of movies do you like?" I automatically, my first gut instinct is going, do I censor and tell which version that would connect with them? But yet I am a duality. Like I will have with my friends a Pride and Prejudice movie marathon where we all dress up in old school clothes and I make tea and scones.
I love that.
And then I want to do a whole underworld episode where I am Kate Beckinsale and I'm wearing leather and boots.
Hell yeah.
This is literally both of my personalities, but it's like there's times when I am just into old English British shows.
Right.
And then I'm into Latin shows that are just weird, like
And sometimes you
step
just want to
brothers and
watch a
sisters
Viking.
liking each other. You're like, what the fuck?
Right. Dude, you're gonna love Wicker Hill, man. Then sometimes you just want to watch a Viking slam an axe into someone's skull. Sometimes
I love a good Viking. Oh, Valhalla. Did you watch that TV show?
I don't think I did. I watched Vikings.
Okay, we're gonna have another conversation.
Okay,
the guy is so fucking hot. Blood has never been so beautiful.
See that right there is another example.
Yes, blood has never been so beautiful. But the girl also that plays in there, she's like the Swedish model, in real life. But she's oh my God, she's so simplistic in her look, and she's so powerful. Like, I dove into her like just as a human, because that's normally what I do if I like a show. I'm like, oh, I want to dive into them. Like, what do they do in real life?
Got to know everything about it.
Oh my God, yeah. But I started liking the show because he originally was on some BBC movie back when he was younger, that he was in a British movie, and then I was like, wait, what? He's a Viking now? And I'm like, oh my God. And then the whole, oh my God, I'll send you the show later on. It is amazing. Of course, I think like all my favorite shows, they canceled it. I'm so mad. Like Sex Lives of College Girls fucking canceled it. I'm so pissed. Like, the writing of that show was amazing. Was absolutely amazing. Anyways.
So this show only got one season because one of the creators died. So I understand.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So the artist lived, but the writer died, and the artist said he wasn't going to continue on without him, which I respect. I respect that.
Yeah.
It just really sucks, man. I have all the mangas. I have the full color hardcovers. Like, I just love High School of the Dead. There's something about it that just clicks with me on every level. I like pretty girls. I like zombies. I like samurai swords. I like all this stuff. And it's just like...
Oh, I love a good samurai movie. Anything.
Oh, dude. We got to do a whole episode on Samurai Cop. Like, I got to force you to watch Samurai Cop, and we got to do a whole episode about it. Okay. Oh, my God.
Okay, I hear samurai, and I have... and beyond that, I'm like, what the fuck?
It's so bad. No, Samurai Cop is the best, worst movie ever made.
Okay.
It is so good. Like, there's a scene where he literally... Okay, so there's a scene where they climb over the wall, like, to get over to, like, the other side of the wall. Otherwise, why would you climb over a wall?
Yes.
But when he climbs over, the other guy goes under, and this whole scene is unscripted. And the guy goes, "Why'd you go under the wall?" And the dude goes, "'Cause I'm an undercover cop."
Oh my God.
And then he looks at the camera, and there's another scene. Just one more. This is unrelated, but there's another scene where, like, this guy's supposed to be fluent in Japanese. Okay.
Yes.
A Japanese samurai sword is called a katana. That's the Japanese name for it. So they ask him. They go, "What does katana mean?" And he goes, "It means Japanese sword." Actually, I want to do it just like he did. Hold on. He goes, "It means Japanese sword." It doesn't mean Japanese sword. It is a Japanese sword. And oh my God, I laughed all the way through that movie. Oh my God, it's so glorious. Anyway, that's off topic.
Okay, so we need to make a movie list. Okay, so as we've said before, put in the comments when we're spouting off random shit, add all your movies, your TV shows, everything in here, because we want to start talking about it, and we want to get on this roll. Like, tell us because we want to see also, it's like, is there something similar to what Cody also enjoys, or what I've watched, that we could also bring other people on here and just like keep diving deeper. Like, we want to go into your comments, we want to give you shout outs.
Yes.
Like, we want to have listen, if your name's in there, and if your handle makes no sense and you want your name shout out, put your name in the comment so we can actually say your name. Because that's the other thing for me when I'm like, oh, I read someone's like their name, but I'm like, dude, I want to know your name. Are you are you Cody? Right. Are you Brent? Are you? If you're open to your name being known,
right?
That's your call. You don't have to tell us your name. But if you like your name being given a shout out, then put your name in there with your comments so then we can actually also get to know you. You know.
Right, because dude, this is all about you guys. The only thing is that these first few episodes we're recording kind of as a batch, so we can get them all out for you guys. But once we start getting them out and we start getting comments, you're going to be on. We're going to talk about you, so get ready for it. We're ready. That's the whole reason we're doing this. Right now, we're just building it up, and so you guys can say, "Oh, hey, look, man, these people like to talk." And then once we start getting comments, and once you guys start asking questions, you are going to be a part of this show.
Yes,
you are going to be. We're called Fanward for a reason.
Yes,
This is about you guys. That's why I talk so much, because I am one of the fans. I love everything.
Yes.
So it's like, and one thing she didn't mention, but is important. She lived in a bubble for like the first half of her life. So there's 1,000 things from the 80s and 90s she's never seen.
Never.
Dude, if you think there's something that she needs to see, drop it in the comment, because I would love for you guys to say you guys need to watch this, especially if she's never seen it. Because what we can do is she can go watch it and I can go watch it, and then we can come together for a podcast like this and talk about what we both got from it.
Yes.
And being able to see her initial reaction from something like that, like I would love for her to watch Misery, the Stephen King adaptation.
Oh no, you just said Stephen King. That sounds like dude, I hate, horror. Yeah.
It's psychological horror.
This is how everyone always tricks me.
It's emotional trauma. It's just emotional. It's like emotion. It's the same thing as Wicker Hill. It's the same thing as like Midsummer, where it's like it's all mind. There's no Kathy Bates won an award off of this movie. I think she won an Academy Award off of it.
Kathy Bates is amazing.
Misery is something I'd like you to see. But that's the kind of thing, like if you've got something from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, chances are she hasn't seen it, and we can.
No, I have no name. I'll have no reference. Most of the actors he brings up, I'm literally going, okay, I have to Google who these people are. So it's like, give me the shows that you think that I missed out on, because I did not start getting in. I'm 37, so I'll put it out there. 37. That's one. I really do want to watch that.
If you watch any of the movies I talked about today, watch Howl's Moving Castle for sure.
Okay, I'll watch that, and then the other ones that just are absolutely your favorite.
School of the Dead.
Yes, watch School of the Dead.
It's so much fun, dude.
It's so over the top. I need a laugh. But back to what for you guys, for you fans, like I never had a chance. This is how I explain it. Like when people are like, "Oh, you should watch this," or "What are you watching now? How did you try to catch up?" And I'm like, I get so overwhelmed with the amount of movies I should see, the amount of genres I don't understand, the amount of actors and the musicians or games, things that I'm like, where the fuck do I start? So I'd rather start from the things that I'm interested in, which is you, because I love just people and getting to know people and why they love what they love. So I would like to, I think so much of what we enjoy in life also comes from we experience it with someone else. Like the things that deeply matter to me are something I shared with my sister. Like, when I started watching stuff, she was like starting Twilight. And when I go back now, like a lot of people have their opinions like, oh, that was so stupid, like all the different layers of it. But she read me all the Twilight books. And that was something I shared with her. Even though I was older, it was like I got to see it through her experience, because she would just sit there and read the books to me. And so then, like now, I just listen to the soundtrack all the time. It's one of my favorite soundtracks.
I love the soundtrack.
I love the soundtrack more than I love the soundtrack and the cinematography more than I actually love the story. And then I love the book. If I could just read the books, watch the movie for the cinematography, and then have the music playing and take out the actors, like then I would be.
I agree with you.
I'd be so happy, because I'm like, oh, I just love everything about it. But the books were hands down. Like, so when I read the books, even now, I imagine the movie the way it looks visually, and then I have the music behind me while watching it. But that came from her going, I'm going to have that experience with you. So when I think about this podcast, that's why I get so excited when Cody's like, oh, I love this. I'm like, dude, I get to have this experience with you guys for the first time. So it brings me, like, I'm not just going, oh, I'm going to ask questions. No, I actually want to know. Like, I have so much to learn, and so I get to do it with people. I want to do it with people, and I want to do it with my Fanward family, and I want to do it with you guys. So what better way to have it through the eyes of a fan versus the eyes of a critic? I don't want to care. I don't care what Hollywood thought about it. I don't care what critics thought about it. I want to know why the people that actually paid for the product, what they actually thought about it, not the person or not the company or corporation that made it. I want to know about the people that actually who ingests it. Like, you're the ones I want to talk to and share the experience with. Beyond that, that's why when people are like, oh, just look at the top 10 movies you should watch. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything to me.
Right. It doesn't mean
anything to me. Anyone can make that list, and I look at it and go, who the fuck made this list? Because even the movies I like now, I'm like, damn, when I look back at the critics, they slammed it. I'm like, what the fuck? I loved it. So it never made any sense to me to go look at the top 10 movies I should watch or TV shows. No, I want to know from people that are obsessed with it, and then know that, and then go, okay, cool. Now I can look at it from also their perspective and find my own. So that's the rant.
Which is Which is why it's important that when you do list something you want us to watch or want her to see that she's never seen before, tell us why. Tell us what it is about it that you think needs to be seen. Like, I know.
Convince me. Convince me, people. Tell me your why. Like, don't just give me some basic stuff. Like, I want to know why.
So there was a specific Studio Ghibli movie I did not bring up in this video. I even, like, as we were talking, I even, like, typed it up for bullet points, but I decided not to talk about it because I think it could probably be its whole own episode.
Okay, cool.
But I have a feeling it's going to show up in the comments. And the reason I didn't talk about it is because it's one of the most traumatic movies I've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
Now, this isn't a Miyazaki movie. It's just from the same studio. But it's called Graveyard of the Fireflies. And it's about World War II Japan right after the bombs dropped.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't talk about it because when I talk about Miyazaki, it's a very happy thing. I don't want to, separating the two things we talked about is one thing, but talking about Miyazaki then going into Graveyard of the Fireflies is like such a downturn. I didn't want to talk about it. And I think Graveyard of the Fireflies is something that could be talked about in another episode about traumatic experiences or whatever.
Yeah, but it needs its own space and platform. There are certain topics that needs to have its own moment.
Right. And I have a feeling that anybody who watched this episode and heard me talking about Ghibli, guarantee at least one person thought of Graveyard of the Fireflies. That's an intense movie.
Okay.
It's really intense. Like it's a tearjerker. You leave crying.
Yeah.
But if you want us to watch it, tell us why. Tell us what the feeling is. If you want us to watch a specific episode of a 90s show, tell us why. I mean, like, even me, like, I can think of a couple episodes of Cheers. Like, I know nobody talks about Cheers. It's just a sitcom. But there are a couple episodes of Cheers that, like, I could have 2-hour conversations about. So, like, if there's something that triggers you like that, tell us. In a good way. That is, that's the whole reason we're doing this. We want to hear that stuff. That's so important to us. We want to read those comments live on the video. We want to read your comment and then go into a 45-minute tirade about why you're right or wrong. Like,
honestly, so drop it in the comments, but I'll also put our emails in here for Cody and I, and you can email Cody and I because if you want to go in depth with us, where you're like, oh, I'm going to write you a fucking essay, and you guys want us to be like, to read, not just like to do a summary of it, and then we can use that as bullet points. Like, we want to hear it. So put it in the comments, but we'll also have an email there where you can reach out to us and like really for all of you that just want to go ham on it, like we want to hear it. Like that's the kind of stuff we want to talk about. So like we're here. We're here for it. We're here for you guys and we're excited. Yeah,
there's no wall up between us. This is complete transparency. Like, just email us. We don't care. We're here for it. That's like, dude, we had an hour and 35-minute conversation about this podcast earlier.
Yes.
On the phone. Like, we're not even recorded. Like, we dream about this shit. So like,
and we do. We're so excited to be able to get to know the fans that made movies great. Not the studios that made movies great. The fans that made movies great. It is every time I see something, when I see a movie or see a show that people go, oh my goodness, this changed the trajectory of how art was made, or this changed. Like, I'm going, oh, I want to know the fans that kept it alive, that made it great, that kept creating art around it or doing versions of their own stories around it, like kept the conversation going. Everything is like when they talk about, someone never dies if you keep talking about them, like, and to me, it's like you keep memories alive. Well, when there's shows out there that are people still talking about 10, 15, 20 years later, I'm going, I want to talk to those fans because you guys are the heart of everything, and you're the heart of Fanward. You're the reason why we are where we're at. You're the reason why Cody and I can even do a podcast, and we're so excited because we have a community we get to talk to and get to know. So, but we'll wrap here. But it's just like, I'm excited. We're gonna be dropping these episodes. Dive in with us. Give us your why in the comments. I'll have an email in here. Email us, and we'll just keep having fun learning about you guys and you telling us why you love what you love. So
yes.
All right.
She nailed it. I got nothing else to say. She nailed it.
Let's wrap. That's a wrap.
All right. Peace.